Hello people, I'm Jaby KOAY, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
Hi guys.
We're continuing on with Sacred Games Season 2, this time Episode 7. I know you've probably been watching all of our reactions, but in case you haven't, and this is the first one you're tuning into, you're only going to see 10 minutes of our reaction to the show because of copyright limitations. But if you want to see our entire reaction, you can sign up for our Patreon page where you'll see the entire reaction uncut, but you'll have to open up the Netflix window adjacent, and it's like you're watching it with us there. Also, we set up some new goals on our Patreon that we're trying to hit in an effort to enhance this channel further. If you want to help us out with that, head over to our Patreon and check those goals out. Anyway, continuing on with the show, here we go.
Oh, hey. Is this real life?
Probably not. Maybe it is.
गणेश, काल ग्रंथ पूरा हो गया। देखो
कितने ग्रंथ लिख के जाएंगे इस देश में, बेंचो एक और लिख दिया आपने।
इधर आओ, इतना प्रेम है तुम्हें इस तामसिक शहर से गणेश। तुम जैसा चाहोगे वैसा ही होगा गणेश।
Super trippy.
कलयुग का भगवान कली हूँ।
कलयुग का भगवान कली हूँ।
दानव का पुत्र अधर्म का पिता।
दानव का पुत्र अधर्म का पिता। मैं ब्रह्म हूँ। 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 सिर्फ मैं ही 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 ब्रह्म सिर्फ मैं ही ब्रह्म हूँ।
Trippy.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay, so he's a goner.
Yeah, I was afraid that would happen. Like, as he was getting more and more riled up,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this isn't a good idea because, you know, he's high.
Yeah.
And
Who knows what can happen?
yeah, and he's really upset. And yeah, I just think the drugs.
Yeah.
He tried to control him and then
Just-
turned around and bit him in the face.
सर किसी इमरजेंसी के लिए बुलाया आपने? वो ड्रग्स की परमिशन कब से दे रहा था?
Shit.
मैं समझा नहीं सर। क्या समझाओ? अभी शहर बचाना है। अगर तुम्हें पता है कि वो ड्रग्स किसके लिए पास करवा रहे थे, तो बताओ। नहीं तो पता लगाओ।
I reckon he's gonna do it though. He seems the self-preservation type.
3 वर्ष तुम्हीच परमिशन देता ना साहेब. माहिती आहे मला. शेवटच्या ट्रकसाठी मला फोन आलेला ईसाचा दुबईवरून.
मी जर बाहेर बोललो ना तर तू दुबईचे तुझे हे चालू आहेत लफडे 1 मिनिटात हाफचिट्टीवर येशील सस्पेंड होऊन. आलं ना लक्षात?
जर माझं नाव आलं ना तर लक्षात ठेवा. मी पण तुम्हाला बदनाम करेन.
Oh.
बाहेर हो.
ये कहानी तो सुननी ही होगी गणेश। सतयुग की शुरुआत यहीं से हुई थी हमारे जीवन में। हमारे माता पिता के प्रथम मिलन से हमारा जन्म नहीं हुआ था, हम अवतरित हुए थे। बाबूजी की विचित्र औषधियों, माँ जी की योग सेवा और नक्षत्रों के उत्तम संयोग से हम इस कलयुग में आए। हम किसके अवतार थे ये बाबूजी ने नहीं बताया था। हमें स्वयं मालूम करना था हमें किसका संहार करना था। आत्मचिंतन के बाद एक दिन जवाब प्रकट हुआ। हमें उस युग का संहार करना है जिसमें हमारे बाबूजी जैसे सत्पुरुष की जगह नहीं थी।
All that stuff that he just learned, was that all straight out of the book? Like
I think so.
he was written to Gaitonde?
I don't
और
know.
तब तुम खुद से बोले हुए किसी भी झूठ के साथ नहीं रह पाओगे। झूठ कि तुम्हें अपने पिता से नफरत है, झूठ कि वो जीवित नहीं है। अभी भी समय है गणेश, क्षमा याचना कर लो।
गुरुजी को मार के गायतोंडे काल ग्रंथ ले गया। मैल्कम ने सब जगह ढूंढा, we could not find it. You are the last person he spoke to. You have two options. Either you die like a nobody or you help bring a new world. A new world you can be a part of. A new world Dilbag Singh believed in.
जोसेफ साहब, सर सरताज एविडेंस रूम में घुस गया है। सरताज! सरताज बाहर निकल! बाहर निकल! गन नीचे कर सरताज, तू भाग नहीं सकता ऐसे। क्या कर रहा है?
दरवाजा बंद कर।
Get out of there, huh?
सरताज,
ये सुनामी अलर्ट झूठ है। पिछले 20 दिन से हम एक बम ढूंढ रहे हैं। 40 घंटे बचे।
हाँ प्लीज, ठीक है, चली जाएंगे। सरताज तुम थोड़ी देर के लिए आराम कर लो।
She's taking this really well.
She doesn't believe him.
Yeah, I assumed, but maybe I thought she was maybe just keeping a calm demeanor.
No.
My pessimistic side is like, she don't believe his ass.
Nope. She's like, look at him. He looks crazy. Would you believe him if he came in your door and was like, hey, you gotta leave?
अपुन का बाप मस्त आइटम था, गांव का पंडित था, लेकिन अपुन की माँ को मारा। पुलिस लेके गया तो अपुन को समझ नहीं आया कि खुशी का बात है या दुख का। चल त्रिवेदी जेल में ढूंढने का जज्बा।
गायतोंडे के बाप के बारे में कुछ याद है आपको?
आपने उनको डरा दिया है ऐसे अचानक पूछ के।
एक गिलास पानी मिलेगा प्लीज?
पानी?
क्या आप 2 मिनट बाहर ठहर सकती हैं प्लीज? आपके सामने कुछ नहीं बोलती प्लीज।
She's like,
Water.
yeah.
लिखा था
किसी डायरी में?
Leave now.
So he's still good. I mean, it's a little bit. His moral compass is a little bit questionable and wavering, but like, it seems like he's still.
Well, he needs to know.
वही है अपना बाप सरदार जी, ये अपन का लाइफ का काटा।
Ah.
What's in the envelope? Oh shit.
ये आपके लिए है।
यही चाहिए मुझे। तुम अपना पाप संभालो, मुझे मेरा संभालने दो।
प्रणाम बाबा, अपन को माफ कर दो। अपन आपके किसी काम नहीं आया। आपको एक किताब भेज रिला है, उसको बाते के पास लेके जाओगे तो वो आपको सतयुग ले जाएगी। सब कुछ है इस किताब में, दुनिया खत्म करने की कहानी भी, नई दुनिया शुरू करने का मंत्र भी। और अगर अपन गुरुजी को ठीक से समझा है तो दुनिया बचाने की कुंजी भी।
हेलो सर, एक नंबर ट्रेस हो गया।
हेलो नायर, आगम भाई, कैसा मौसम है उधर कालीगढ़ में? काफी गर्म।
अरुण, उसका नंबर 2।
इधर तो बढ़िया है।
लाइव लोकेशन सेंड करो रमन, जल्दी। लेट्स गो।
फ्लैशबैक करना है। बताइए क्या क्या है?
Why wouldn't you just read the book first?
वापस जाना चाहते हो तो जा सकते हो, लेकिन वहां सिर्फ वही पेन, वही फेलियर है। चलोगे हमारे साथ? अहम ब्रह्मास्मि।
What a way to end that episode. Jesus
That's
Christ.
it? Oh my god! No way, you can't do that.
I mean, they're ending it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know. I'm just complaining because, you know, I just want to know. I just want to know, but there's one more episode to go. This one feels like it's setting up, right, for the big thing in the last episode.
Oh,
like,
I mean, it's your Harry Potter book 7 part 1, you know?
well, yeah, but you know how usually when you watch Game of Thrones, the penultimate episode is the one where all the shit hits the fan?
It's not Game of
And then
Thrones.
this is not Game of Thrones,
No.
obviously.
This is properly structured. Game of Thrones has the structure of the denouement where it's like that last episode is always the coming down, but that irritates me. I'd rather have that coming down be like the last 20 minutes of the final episode rather than being an entire episode.
Right.
Here, you know, they're doing it properly where it's building until like it explodes. No pun intended. I don't mean the actual explosion. I just mean emotionally.
Yeah, emotionally. They started it out with a bang though, because like they went straight for that moment where Gaitonde gets to see Guruji again, and then straight away he kills him. Cut to Sacred Games intro music, right? So it's like, whoa, okay, you guys started with this big, heavy action sequence, although it's not like actiony, but you know what I mean. In terms of the story, it's like, whoa, that was a big deal.
Well, my question
Carrying
is,
on from there.
why did he send that book to his dad? Why was he trying to get his dad to be part of this thing? He took the book after he murdered his third father. Why would he then take the book and send it to his first original father and then have his father go into that club? Like, why would he do that when he was principally against it after that?
Atonement, or it was just the safest place to keep it.
Oh, sure. Well, it was the safest place to keep his dad if the destruction actually takes place. I'm confused by Gaitonde's actions, like with the book.
Right.
So I'm not sure why he would send it to his dad than to have his dad go into the
Well, it
Guruji's
gives-
club, because Guruji's not there anymore.
It gives his dad the option, right? Like, if after reading the whole book, his dad's like, okay, well, I want to save myself, then he's given his dad, presumably, the gift of life in the new world.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also keeping the book safe from people who might want it, because it seems like not many people know who his actual dad is. Like, his real life history is myth and also a mystery.
One of the things that's really weird in this show is the powerlessness of the cops. Because
Right.
that scene when, in the last episode that was very emotional, when the kids were beating up that one kid. It's like, where are all the cops? What's taking so long for the authorities to get in there? And then here, Sartaj leaves with the evidence. It's like, I thought he was going to get blocked off before he could go.
Well, yeah, considering that he's at the police station, presumably, because it's the evidence room.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are the cops if not at the police station? Maybe everyone's just understaffed and so
Scrambling.
many people are out on the street. No, there's not good communication.
It could very well be that it's just everyone's scrambling right now. It's just chaos.
Right.
Because of the effort to evacuate the city in a timely manner. It struck me in the middle of this episode what this is reminding me of. I finally have an American comparison.
Oh yeah, what is it?
It's Body of Lies. Body of Lies is a film starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe. And it's about basically this one guy who's basically sacrificing everything that's him and that he had in an effort to save the world, from his own perspective anyway. He gets beat up, he gets messed up along the way, he's got to lie to people, and he does all these chess pieces, move all these chess pieces around, and he's got this boss who's not really understanding what he's going through on the ground level. That's all. It's just a random comparison that struck me because of what Leonardo DiCaprio's character goes through in that movie is reminding me of what Saif Ali Khan is going through here. It's just like he is just... I just seeing him, even in the nice blue shirt, that blood on his shirt, I'm like, man, this guy has been destroyed. Like, even with the new shirt, he can't look nice. Like, his thumb's cut off, he's got blood over here. He's just
sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he's been sweating like crazy since season 1. I noticed that. There are thematic things in this series that I'm picking up on. Like, obviously, the whole father thing, it's coming up a lot. Not only Gaitonde's father, but Sartaj's father. And then now, in this episode, we had Guruji's father come into the picture.
Yeah.
So fathers are a big deal. I'm still kind of percolating and figuring out exactly what that means and what the author of the book and what the writers of this series are trying to say about that relationship.
This is somewhat conjecture because I'm trying to... it's still percolating for me.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, the whole idea is that just because you came from this doesn't mean this is everything. Just because this is, you know, your ancestor doesn't mean that they're right. Just because this was given to you doesn't mean it is correct. I think that's the idea, because basically all of religion, all of customs and culture is inherited. It's given to us at such a vulnerable state. You know, we're babies, we're children, we don't have the ability to protest necessarily. And it's just kind of pushed on us over and over again. This is how it's done. And that doesn't mean it's correct, but it makes it almost impossible to abandon because it's so deeply embedded into your psyche, into your system, that you are just subscribed to it for life. You know, and I think that's what it has to do with more than anything, is that you have these fathers who you thought were correct. He thought his dad was correct, and then he ended up realizing that his dad was weak. I'm fudgy on the situation with Trivedi, but with Guruji, he thought he was correct and he was following him like a god. This is actually something I was thinking about earlier today when I listened to like certain podcasts or whatever, and I get really into them. There's this weird psychological thing that it's almost like they become my god while I'm listening to them, right? And at a certain point, things get fuzzy and weird when I'm like, well, I disagree with this. And I know deep down that what they're saying right now is wrong and it's not sitting well with me. I have to dethrone them, and that's difficult to do.
Right.
And so I think that's part of what the point of the show is dethroning your gods, dethroning your fathers. Just because they're your dad doesn't mean they are correct.
What was interesting to me about Guruji's father is that it's like he was creating him all along. And it's interesting because he was born into this family where he was basically revered as an avatar of God, right?
A Jesus, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And that affected his whole life trajectory. What would have happened to the same person had he been born and just been like, yeah, you're just a regular kid? Is it nature or is it nurture?
It's both.
No,
it's both. They're not mutually exclusive. It's nature and nurture that informs a person's personality.
So
and behavior.
You think that on some level he was born with that connection to God?
Not that he was born with a connection to God, that he was born susceptible to the belief that he had a connection to God that way. It's passed down from his dad, who already subscribed to that sort of mentality. There's something in his coding that helps him to buy into this mindset, and then he passes that on to his son, who's his offspring. It makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm not making any sense to anyone but myself, but that makes sense to me. Is that I think your DNA has a profound impact on how you receive things and how you deal with things. It affects you in a physical way. Why wouldn't it affect you in a mental way? You know what I mean? Like if you have a history of heart issues in your family, you might have heart issues also. So if you have a history of believing certain things, if you're susceptible to certain things, or you got like bipolar disorder in your family, you might have that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you tell your son, you know, you're Jesus, somewhere they've got DNA proclivities towards that, it makes sense to me how he would just subscribe. It's both nature and nurture, to answer your question in a roundabout kind of way. But what's your point in bringing that up?
It was just a different type of father relationship than we've seen, because he fully embraced that path that his father paved the way for him. Whereas Gaitonde has been actively trying to run away from his father's legacy for his whole life. You know, so you get two different sides of that relationship.
I think part of the issue with really deeply examining, it's just a byproduct of examining anything really, is it's hard to tell where the spectators are attributing value and where the creator of the story was actually attributing value.
Right.
And so you're going, oh, well, the father-son thing, and there's obviously what is it? What are they saying? And I'm like, well, maybe he's saying nothing. Maybe he's just saying that's how this happened.
Yeah, no, and that's totally possible. But that's like the really cool and amazing thing about good art, is that it can inspire that conversation. That you can look at something on a very superficial level and be like, wow, I really enjoyed that. That was cool. It gave me feelings. It was thrilling. It was whatever it was. And then you can also break it down on a artistic level with the choices that were being made.
If you want some kind of meaning in that, the meaning to me is that man created God and man destroys God. That's the only meaning I can see right now, because literally Guruji was made by a man and then he was destroyed by another man. It's that simple, you know.
I kind of like that.
That's the only meaning I can see in that. The only intrinsic value that's coming to my mind. Obviously, there's something there. I just haven't. That's the best I can come up with at this moment, because the thing about it is, like, you're dealing with another father-son situation. I've said everything that I think that these could possibly mean. What I've been anxious to talk about is Nawazuddin's acting, because this is the first time I've seen him explode like that. The very first scene in this episode, I've never seen him raise his voice like that. I've never seen him look this crazy in anything else, in any other performances of his. And maybe he has, I just haven't seen it yet, but that's my first experience with it. He literally looks mad, like not mad in an angry sense, but mad like in a crazy sense, where he's literally losing his mind. Even when he gets the phone call and he's like looking through the book and he just looks like he's lost it. His eyebrows and everything, even his voice, maybe I'm making this up, but his voice sounds different to me. It sounds like it's got age in it. I don't know how he's doing that, but it's all very subtle. I think they added prosthetics to his face or something.
Yeah, to like kind of fill it out more. Like, I was wondering that as well, because I was like, oh, he looks a little bit more jowly than usual. Is that normal? If so, like, they did a really good job on the makeup there.
Subtle makeup has played a significant role in this show, because if you go back to season 1, there are scenes where he looks really, really young. Because they just, I don't know if it was if they marveled him. You know, they de-aged him, or if it was just, I mean, hey, it's Netflix, or if it's just like really good makeup, which it's possible that that's the case. But I mean, when technology's been around for a while, it gets cheaper with time, is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
And you know, it gets smarter with time. It gets easier to implement. It's not outside the realm of possibilities that you have people who were able to figure that out. And you know, they made his blocking simple. His movement simple, so that they could implement that with more effectively and quickly. You know, make it cheaper for them.
Quite possibly, and probably with the help of some good makeup as well.
Well, exactly.
You can do a lot actually with a skilled makeup artist who knows their shit. You can achieve a lot.
I lost my point, but my all I'm saying is his acting was great to me, because I've never seen him behave that way. I always wondered that about him, specifically because I've never seen him go there. I'm like, how would he handle that kind of a performance? How would he handle that kind of a scene? Like, does he have the chops for that kind of scene?
Right.
And then he did it, and I'm like, yeah, he does. I mean, that's my point ultimately.
Totally, and I feel like in that type of scene, it's a lot of it is about stripping away whatever, I guess, walls that you have in your personality, and a lot of it is just
inhibition.
Inhibition, exactly. That's the word I couldn't find, but it's just about letting go. And I think it's really hard for a lot of people to just let go like that, and to be completely vulnerable and open in your like identity, and just be like, well, this is me breaking down, and I don't care who's watching right now. And that's an amazing skill to have as an actor.
Well, what makes it even more amazing is he did this while they Requiem for a Dreamed him, because like they had the camera strapped to his body. That's why it was fixed with him, because the camera's literally fixed to his body.
And was it super wide as well? Because I felt like it was really bulbous, and it was kind of making me feel sick.
They probably used a 16mm lens on him. That's what gave it the bulbous effect. And it was such a wide angle lens that you could see the edges of the box that they were using. I forgot what they call that box, to basically block out unwanted light. Or if it wasn't a box, basically you could see the inside of the lens. That's how wide it was. I forget, they called it vignetting. That's what the word I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
You could see vignetting happening. But I didn't mind it. It was just like, I just picked up on that. They figured that out later. I feel like, you know, behind the scenes, they looked at the dailies and they're like, oh shit, it's vignetting. We shouldn't have that happen. And then they fixed it later on when they went to shoot with that kind of angle again inside of his bunker. Or they just didn't go quite as wide. They went full wide on that, and it was strapped to his body so that you could have that effect. And he has to act the way he's acting with this rig on him.
Right.
And that, to me, it multiplies the complexity of that kind of challenge, because you have to forget that you have this equipment on your body and act.
Yeah, and not only that, but imagine how many people are in the room doing their job, watching you do that thing. Like, the closest I've ever come to that was doing a really emotional scene. The first take was fine, I was in it, and then I remember the second take, I could see out of the corner of my eye someone in the kitchen, which was in another room, just like on their phone or like moving around or something. And like, I just couldn't get into it. I very nearly did a, what's his face, Christian Bale. I was like, keep it together. Do not yell at the dude.
I would totally yell at the dude.
I was just like, excuse me, could you just, you know,
get the fuck out.
keep still, or this is hard. But like, imagine doing that scene, which is even more heightened than just, you know, being really sad and crying. It's like all the things in one.
I know what you're talking about, because I had a scene that I was doing for the vampire short film that nobody liked. Actually, a lot of people liked it.
I liked it, Jaby.
Yeah, a lot of people liked it. It was appealing more to American audiences than it was to anyone else. But a lot of the people on this channel, this audience, most of them liked it. I was just beating myself up over the negative comments. So, just like, you know, any creative person on YouTube. But the point is, there was a scene in there where I'm confronting the vampire lady outside. It's a weird scene because I'm basically powerless, but I have to be like a badass who's powerless. And I'm trying to get into this character. I'm using my expressions to get into this. And I remember this dude who Michael Scott is friends with. Michael Scott was the one who directed that. He had this dude there who's helping out, and he's looking at the monitor, and it's a close-up of me, like, trying to get into the thing. And I heard this dude, his name is Seth, go, "I am a serious actor."
Oh my God.
And I very nearly exploded, but I held it together in order to get through that scene. But him saying that, like, completely undermined the challenges that I was facing in that moment.
Yeah, and your performance. Like, that's a shitty thing to say.
Yeah, it's already hard enough as it is when you get all these people watching you. Half the people in the group, I'm not sure how they felt about me. So it's really nerve-wracking. The point being is, you're right. It's tough. And to totally let go like that and be in the moment like that. But we haven't really talked about the closeness that these actors are, you know, going through to perform these scenes. It's like, kudos to all of them. It's just
you mean all the intimacy?
Yeah, that would be a challenge for me, honestly. Like, me just being real, that would be, I'd have to really let go of who I am.
Oh, so if you had to do a scene like Guruji and Gaitonde,
yeah, it would
be tough.
That would be tough. I'm not messing about. Like, that would be tough. That would be hard for me because I'd have to really disconnect from everything that makes me me in order to get into that.
I think they did a really great job because it didn't feel forced. Like, you know, clearly these guys are very committed and talented and professional actors. So they're just like, okay, well, this serves the story and this is what needs to be done. Like, I didn't feel, especially with the stuff between Guruji and Gaitonde, it didn't feel very gratuitous. It was just done in a very kind of as nice a way as you can do it. Because I feel like, you know, with it being...
I call that the Indian way because things are so much more gratuitous over here. Whereas in India, they handle that stuff more delicately.
Well, I think also because it's with two men, because I noticed that when the stuff was going on with the, like, orgy stuff in earlier episodes, like, you can see more of the women, I think.
You saw a dude from behind, like, giving it to a girl. Like, he was full-blown naked, too.
Yeah, but we're just more comfortable with, like, the hetero aspect of that.
Sure.
That's just more normal.
I mean, that's all subjective. I suppose what you're saying is right in that just the idea of seeing two guys in an intimate manner is a lot to take. I get that.
And so it has to be handled more delicately, I suppose.
I understand what you're getting at, but like, I think that even the hetero stuff, except for that one scene you're talking about, even the hetero stuff was handled pretty carefully.
For the most part, yeah, I agree. There was that one moment where I was like, oh, we're definitely watching something that's kind of like cable or being on a, you know, internet platform where it doesn't have to be conforming to the rules of
But even that wasn't that
television
extensive. Like, it was very quick. It was just enough to make the point of the depravity of it all.
Right.
You know,
it's all done with a purpose.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, let's just throw in 10,000 gratuitous sex scenes.
You go and watch something like
Game of Thrones?
Not even Game of Thrones. Well, yes, Game of Thrones, but more so that one that is a fake Western.
Oh, Westworld.
Westworld, yeah.
Yeah.
There is so much nudity in that, and there's so much gratuitous sex in that. I don't need this. Like, if I wanted that, I can go watch porn. It doesn't seem like it's serving the story at a certain point where people are just naked for the sake of it. It's just like, now it's just happening all over the place. It's basically a porno with a story, a good story. and so, to me, like, the way they're handling it here is, something I wish we would do more, because it's done enough to make the point, and then it
Right.
moves on. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate you being part of the KOAY family and subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done that, do that, please. And yeah, I'm just doing a really backward mess up outro. But check out our other reactions, reviews, short films, and vlogs, and stay tuned for our episode 8 reaction.
Finale!
Exactly. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.